If you've ever noticed that you feel uncomfortable when you rest, not bored, but uneasy, like you should be doing something, fixing something, answering something, if sitting down for too long makes you feel slightly guilty, or if relaxing only feels earned after you've exhausted yourself, it doesn't look like a big deal, but it says more than you think. Because for some people, rest isn't neutral, it feels wrong. You might lie down and suddenly remember emails you haven't sent, or replay conversations from earlier in the day, or feel a quiet voice in your head asking, "Have you done enough?" And what's interesting is, this isn't really about productivity. It's about identity. Some people grew up in environments where being useful meant being safe, where praise came when you achieved something, where attention came when you performed well, where love felt tied to contribution. Over time, your nervous system learned something very specific. Value equals output. So rest started to feel like risk, because if you're not producing, not helping, not solving, who are you? That's where it gets deeper. A lot of guilt around resting isn't laziness anxiety, it's attachment anxiety. When you were younger, maybe there wasn't much room to just exist. Maybe adults around you were stressed, overwhelmed, or emotionally distant. And the fastest way to feel secure was to be competent, independent, low maintenance. You became the reliable one, the responsible one, the one who didn't need much. And children who don't need much often grow into adults who don't allow themselves much. Rest feels undeserved. Care feels excessive. Slowing down feels dangerous. And here's where it gets interesting. The guilt isn't actually about rest. It's about control. When you're busy, you feel in control. When you're productive, you feel prepared. When you're doing something, you feel ahead of potential problems. But when you rest, you're not controlling anything. You're just there. And if you grew up in unpredictability, emotional or practical, being still might feel unfamiliar. Your mind starts scanning. What am I missing? What could go wrong? What should I be preparing for? It's not ambition, it's vigilance. Some people call it being driven, but often it's a nervous system that doesn't fully trust calm. There's another layer too. If your identity formed around being the strong one, the helper, the achiever, then resting can feel like losing that identity. Because if you're not the productive one, who are you in the room? This is why even enjoyable rest can feel slightly tense. You're watching yourself relax, evaluating whether you've earned it, planning what comes next. That's not weakness, it's protection. Protection learned early, protection that once made sense. And over time, it becomes invisible. You just think, I'm bad at relaxing, or I'm just wired this way. But it wasn't random, it was conditioning. Some people were taught that rest is a reward. Others were taught, quietly, that rest is a luxury they haven't earned. So they live in a constant state of almost done, almost caught up, almost allowed to breathe. The pattern isn't about discipline, it's about worth. When your sense of worth is tied to output, rest feels like subtraction. But once you start noticing that link, achievement to safety, busyness to identity, exhaustion to validation, something shifts. You begin to see that the guilt wasn't proof you were lazy, it was proof you were conditioned. And awareness doesn't instantly remove the feeling, but it changes how you interpret it. Instead of, I shouldn't be resting, it becomes, this is an old rule. And once you see it, you can't fully unsee it. It was never random, it was a pattern. If this explains something you've quietly felt for a long time, there's more underneath patterns like this, and understanding them is where real clarity begins.